Welcome to English Cup of Coffee, your go-to podcast for mastering the English language. I'm Jessica, your host.
And I'm Steve, your co-host.
Together, we're here to make learning English fun, easy, and effective. Whether you're just starting out or looking to take your skills to the next level, we've got you covered. In this, our first episode, we're going to be talking about something really common.
Yes, we've been hearing a lot about people who are learning English on their own, and we thought it would be interesting to share some tips and techniques that you might find useful.
We've both been there, struggling to find the motivation and resources to improve in the language we're learning.
But we've learned a lot along the way, and we're excited to share our tips and tricks with you. And, with that being said, welcome to our first chapter. We hope you enjoy it.
So, why do people decide to learn English on their own, Steve?
Well, there are a few reasons. Some people might not have access to a language course or a teacher. Others might prefer to learn at their own pace. And of course, some people just enjoy the challenge of learning on their own.
That's true. But learning a language on your own can be tough. What are some of the challenges people face?
One of the biggest challenges is staying motivated. It can be easy to get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Another challenge is finding good resources. There are so many options out there, it can be hard to know where to start.
And of course, it can be difficult to practice speaking and listening without a language partner.
Absolutely. But there are ways to overcome these challenges. For example, there are a lot of great language learning apps and websites that can help you stay motivated and track your progress.
And watching movies and TV shows in English can be a fun way to improve your listening skills.
Joining online language communities can also be a great way to connect with other learners and practice speaking.
And don't forget about language exchange partners. You can find someone who wants to learn your language and practice with them.
Another great option is listening to podcasts. This is a really convenient way to learn English passively. You can listen while you're commuting, working out, or doing chores.
That's a great point. Listening to podcasts can be a really effective way to improve your vocabulary and pronunciation. All right, let's talk about language learning apps. How can they help people learn English on their own?
Language learning apps can be a great way to learn English. They offer a variety of features, such as vocabulary flashcards, grammar exercises, and speaking practice. Some apps also offer personalized learning plans based on your goals and level.
And they're often more affordable than traditional language courses.
That's right. Plus, you can learn at your own pace and on your own schedule.
So, what are some tips for using language learning apps effectively?
First, it's important to find an app that you enjoy using. There are so many different options out there, so take some time to try a few different ones.
And set realistic goals. Don't try to learn everything at once. Start with small, achievable goals, and gradually increase the difficulty as you progress.
Another tip is to be consistent. Try to use the app every day, even if it's just for a short time.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're struggling with something, there are often forums or communities where you can get help from other learners.
Finally, make learning English fun. Find ways to make it enjoyable, such as watching movies or listening to music in English.
That's great advice. By following these tips, you can make the most of language learning apps and improve your English skills. Now, it is time to talk about learning English through movies and TV shows. How can these tools be of help?
Watching movies and TV shows in English can be a great way to improve your listening skills and vocabulary. You'll hear the language being used in a natural context, which can help you understand it better.
And it's a fun way to learn.
Absolutely. Plus, you can choose content that you enjoy, which will make it more motivating to watch.
So, what are some tips for learning English through movies and TV shows?
First, start with content that you're familiar with. If you've already seen the movie or TV show in your native language, you'll have a better understanding of the story and characters.
And use subtitles. This can help you understand what's being said and learn new vocabulary.
Another tip is to watch with a dictionary. If you hear a word you don't know, look it up.
And try to pay attention to the way words are pronounced. This can help you improve your own pronunciation in turn.
Finally, don't be afraid to pause the movie or TV show if you need to. This will give you time to process what you've heard.
By following these tips, you can learn English effectively through movies and TV shows. What about finding a language exchange partner? How can this be helpful when you learn English on your own, Steve?
Finding a language exchange partner can be a great way to practice speaking and listening in English. You can also learn about the culture of the other person's country.
And it's a fun way to meet new people.
Absolutely. So, how can you find a language exchange partner?
There are a few ways. You can look online on websites or apps that connect language learners.
Or you can join a language exchange group in your community.
And you can also ask your friends or family if they know anyone who wants to learn English.
Once you've found a language exchange partner, it's important to set some ground rules. Decide how often you'll meet and what you'll talk about.
And be patient. It may take some time to find the right partner.
But once you do, it can be a really rewarding experience.
And how about having a successful language exchange?
First, be prepared. Come to your meetings with things to talk about.
And again, be patient. It may take some time to get used to speaking in a foreign language.
Another tip is to be open-minded. Try to learn about the other person's culture.
And most importantly, have fun. Language exchange should be an enjoyable experience.
So now you know. Follow these tips and you will find a great language exchange partner and improve your English skills.
All right, English language learners. The next point is joining a language community online. How can this help you learn English?
Joining an online language community can be a great way to connect with other English learners and practice your language skills. You can also get help and support from other members.
And it's a convenient way to learn, especially if you don't have many opportunities to practice English in person.
Absolutely. So, how can you find an online language community?
There are many different online language communities available. Some are specific to English learners, while others are more general.
You can also search for online forums or social media groups dedicated to language learning.
Once you've found a community, take some time to get to know the other members.
And be active in the community. Participate in discussions, ask questions, and offer help to others.
Another tip is to be respectful of other members.
And have fun. Online language communities should be an enjoyable place to learn and connect with others.
By following these tips, you can join a successful online language community and improve your English skills. And Steve, what can you tell us about listening to podcasts like this one? How can this help you learn English?
Listening to podcasts is a great way to improve your listening skills and vocabulary. You can also learn about different topics and cultures.
And it's a convenient way to learn, especially if you don't have a lot of time.
Absolutely. You can listen to podcasts while you're commuting, working out, or doing chores.
So, what are some tips for learning English through podcasts?
First, choose podcasts that you enjoy listening to. This will make it more motivating to listen.
And start with podcasts that are at your level. If podcast is too difficult, you won't understand much.
Another tip is to listen actively. Pay attention to the words and phrases that you hear.
And take notes. This will help you remember what you've learned.
Finally, don't be afraid to pause the podcast if you need to. This will give you time to process what you've heard.
That's great advice, Steve. Thanks for sharing your insights on solo practice strategies for learning English on your own.
It's been a pleasure, Jessica. Until next time. And to our audience, keep listening, learning, and exploring the wonderful world of language.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Steve. And that's a wrap for today's episode of English Cup of Coffee. We hope you found our discussion helpful.
And we hope that you can put into practice some of the strategies we discussed here today. Remember, the key to independent English learning is consistency and patience. Keep practicing, keep exploring, and most importantly, have fun.
And before we go, we want to thank all of you for joining us on this linguistic journey. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and leave a comment below. Your feedback is invaluable to us.
We'll be back next time with more tips and tricks for learning English on your own.
Until next time for another English Cup of Coffee.